welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are playing Holler tonight for Savage Worlds, continuing our Blessed Beauty campaign. We are down one player. We're down Bert tonight, as Joe is off doing something with I don't know, the boys from County Hell. That's where his friends are. But we will persevere and probably not kill him, but who knows? I mean, it's a dangerous place, so we'll see.
I think we're just going to leave him as sacrifice to the witches, actually, so we can get away. But
And we toss him at the bear. We run.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. I think Bert he'd probably be okay with it.
Maybe they'll hug and it'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. So we're going to continue. We're on Act 3, Legend of the Boogeyman Tree. And we might be able to actually finish it tonight, I think. I think that's the plan. I think we can possibly get through Act 3. If not, we'll go as we go. But before we get going, why don't we do some introductions, hit a summary, and then we'll start. So we'll start with Chuck. Chuck, who the hell are you playing?
Double D. I don't know how to punch things. I got my go Cletus. Got my brother Cletus. Pow. That's me.
Okay, perfect. I always forget. Like I have music for this.
Yeah.
I got stuff for this. Yeah.
You got it.
Next up, we've got Dan. Dan, whose character are you playing again tonight? What's your character's name?
Still dogless.
Is it okay? All right. I don't have anything for you. Oh yeah, I do. There we go.
That sounds right. Yeah, I approve of that.
Okay.
He does have, what was it, like clumsy or something like that. So
okay. Perfect.
That seems fitting.
Right on. This is Dan's second character too.
Yes, he is our woodsman / bad decision maker.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of those bad decision makers, but only one woodsman. So you got that.
Yep. Got that one nailed.
Yep. Next, we've got Jeremy. And Jeremy, I've been doing this thing on YouTube where I've been going back and putting like better thumbnails on most of the games. And I just recently did the 2 Holler games that we ran before we started the campaign. And so I've been trying to do this thing where I get like a funny quote or something like that and drop it on there. And from both of them, I think I did yours. Like at one point you said, I'm proud of my pig-like something or other. I can't remember. My pig-like posterior or some shit like that.
Okay.
And then there's another one. It was the bananas one. Where it's like, you say bananas, I'm gonna do it.
I love the bananas situation.
The bananas thing is one of the
Just
funniest.
murdered that man in front of a school
Right.
because somebody said bananas.
He
So
said
long.
bananas.
Troublemaker.
I do that all the time.
But does that still apply? Like if I said, man, that's bananas, like you'd go off and murder someone?
Hell, man, I don't understand time anymore. I don't know if that was a prequel or a sequel to where we are now. I think it was prequel.
I think
But that was
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, y'all want me to have a code word? I'll go crazy on bananas if you want me to. But yeah, I'm Cletus. I'm Double D's big little brother. I'm an Appalachian ninja, and yeah, a little bit of a troublemaker.
And also,
like to. Okay, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, one of the things you don't get to see with Cletus is that he used to have he has a dog. Doesn't have the dog anymore. Named Yeetus. Wasn't it Yeetus? Yeah.
It was Yeetus. She's a good girl. She saved my
She's a
life.
good girl. Yeah, the gummer.
Yeah, that dog only had teeth on one side of her face, but she killed herself 4 or 5 demon dogs.
Like four demon dogs just gumming him to death. It was so great. That was fun. It was a little blast from the past that I was watching when I was doing the Holler stuff. It was fun. She gummed him dead. All right, bottom row, Louisa Palmer. Melissa, tell us about Louisa.
Yeah, so Louisa is the holy roller of the group. She is of poor health. That is poorer and poorer health as the campaign goes along. But she can do, some healing and some smiting and some relief and some of that fun power stuff.
Awesome. Very cool. And as I said, Bert's not here, so we won't have any confusion tonight over who we say Joe is. So Joe, tell us about your character, Amian.
I'm playing Amian, the young, curious kid who's trying to pick up as many skills and talents as he can. And apparently he's got a pretty good singing voice. as we found
That's
out.
true. That's true. I forgot. I got to do refresh all bennies. So I just hit the refresh all bennies. Hopefully you all have it. Okay. Cool. Let's get started then. So last time Fiddler's Convention ended, you all were kind of sort of driving your way back, but you decided to pay a visit to the town of Gilmer. You heard about it from one of the people at the convention. It's a town in the Great Craggies. One of your contacts there was saying how there's a big boy there named Royster Whitaker, who's been kind of driving the workers, the loggers, the lumber workers deeper and deeper into like demon infested woods without any real care for their safety. And that worker anger might be ripe to kind of bring them into your growing revolution. So on this mountain path near Gilmer, you nearly got into a car accident as you interrupted a drag race between the twins Vernon and Fernan of the Cole family. You gave them some aid. You helped them with their crashed cars, and you kind of gave them a ride back to Gilmer as well, where they've been working. There, you learned of that the town was suffering from some kind of sickness that was noted by like severe fatigue, and it's been plaguing like the workers and their families to the point where Whitaker even shut down work, and there was rumors that he might be moving on from Gilmer, like leaving them destitute or something like that. There's other things you learned. You spoke with the granny woman named Selma Potts. Double D insulted the hell out of her, but the rest of you got some info out of her. She's suspecting currently that the Witches of Weird, which is a nearby village of witches, might have put a hex on the village for some reason. Other villagers were telling you about other recent deaths and about there was a new woman apparently in Royster Whitaker's life. Double D, Douglas, you met a kid named Percy Ray Bunch, who is this adolescent who was like just talking all sorts of stuff about this enormous tree he chopped down. You all agreed to give him a ride down to Ashdown so he can get all lit up on corn liquor and stuff like that, and he would take you to the logging site so you can look at this tree. So you went there, and it became pretty clear that tree is got some sort of magical properties, and you kind of figured out it was a boogeyman tree, right? And how it's like strange runic bark, this tingling feeling upon contact. And then Amian and Louisa had these visions of about a dozen feral women performing a ritual around a flame. You decided to pay a visit to the Witches of Weird at that point, sometime like after sundown. And that's where you discovered a few of Whitaker's men were spying on the witches while they were performing a ritual that was pretty much identical to the one that you were seeing in your vision. And then at one point, Joe, the character Joe, tried to enter the confines of the village and got hissed, and they sort of chased him out like no man can enter the village or some nonsense, and like threw a green flame at him until he ran away. And as you guys were trying to decide what to do, you heard these strange noises coming from Percy Ray Bunch, who'd been following you around. And when you turned to look at him, you watched as he pretty much horrifically transform into a bear. And we'll go ahead and pick up right there. Why doesn't everyone? I don't think we did it. I'm looking at this. Why doesn't everyone go ahead and roll a spirit test as you watch this horrific Cronenberg-esque transformation into a bear? And I'll get a little music going while you do that.
Forgot to set up my little dice thing again. Come on.
Using real dice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. That's what we're doing now because our friends at Norse Foundry. Want to get 10% off your dice? Norse Foundry? Put in Lolly. I think it's Lolly. Lolly. Yeah, there we go. Melissa's got the command. She knows what to do. Okay.
That's
got
a
it.
fail.
It's a fail?
What do we have
Okay.
to? We have to pass a 4, right?
Yeah, 4 is passed. Don't forget you can use bennies and et cetera, if you want. So, Louisa, if you wanted to use a benny to re-roll your spirit test, go right
I'm
ahead.
on Benny that too.
Yeah, go for it.
Passed with 5.
Oh, I failed even worse.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
possible.
I increased by 1. I got a 3.
Okay. So both of you failed. All right. So
Mhm.
then let's do, since you both failed, let's do a little fear table. First one is for Double D. Second one is for Louisa Palmer.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
Double
Cool.
D, You as you're freaking out at this this transformation of despair, you get adrenaline surge. The hero's fight response takes over. He acts as if you have a joker on your action. So like whatever you do on this action is you're gonna get, you're +2 to your rolls and everything. Whereas
Nice.
Louisa, you gain a minor phobia hindrance somehow associated with that trauma. What do we think would fit this?
Fear of bears.
Fear of bears? That works for me. Okay.
That or fear of cocky children.
Okay.
Your fear of children would be awesome.
Okay.
All
So-
children are just, one wrong turn away.
Bears
from
in disguise.
transforming into
Mhm.
bears.
I can't remember exactly
You're in
what
with the
happened
bears.
with Whitaker's guys. I'm going to say they're there, but maybe at this point with its transformation, they start running. And how do the rest of you handle what you're watching as this horrific transformation is taking place?
It's a big dog. Ah!
As I charge in and start punching.
Okay,
Don't
go
kill
ahead.
it. It's a kid.
Okay. Double T, go ahead and roll your attack. And don't forget, you've got the Joker for your adrenaline surge. Let's take +2.
It's a +2. All right.
2 attacks and damage.
So
Target parry for this bear is a 6.
I got that. I rolled 9. I get a +2, and I got 1 for brawling.
Okay.
Then I also get a. Dang, I don't remember how math works.
Well, you got. It sounds like you got a raise, so you got more
Yeah.
than 10. So you got 10 or more. That's a raise. So go ahead and roll. Yeah, roll damage with a raise and add +2 with the raise die and add +2.
All right, I done it. Strength plus D6. I got roll find an 8
And then roll an extra D6 because the raise.
because I got a raise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then add a +2 on top of it.
All right.
This-
You add all that together, right?
Yes, you add damage together. Yeah.
All right.
So what happens
11,
when we
12,
stop letting
13.
Foundry do everything for us?
13.
13. Okay. So as this creature turns into and he's like screaming out in excruciating pain. Describe how you take him out. So what is it? What happens, Double D?
Oh,
I was screaming pain. I'm gonna punch him in the back of the neck, through the mouth.
Okay.
Just
And you see as you punch him right through the back of the neck, your fist comes out the mouth, his mouth, like this tongue half formed, goes flopping down to the ground. You retract your arm a bit, covered in blood and fur and guts, and you watch as half Percy Ray Bunch, half Black Bear flops to the ground and then comes to rest.
Damn it.
That's what you get, Dark Child.
Wait,
Louisa ran screaming into the woods, so someone would need to
Fair
inform her that.
I'll run after her. Yeah.
Okay, Amy, and you chase down Louisa,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Like so you'll say that Amy and Louisa are
Definitely,
away.
like, I would have stayed and fought the bear, but
Sure.
Yeah,
seemed
Uh-huh.
important.
of course.
So Amian chases after Louisa. Double D like just wrecks this transforming bear, and then Douglas and Cletus, you're just staring and watching as Double D is just like standing over top, blood dripping from his fist down to the ground of this poor creature on the ground. Meanwhile, you
it's
look off. Yeah,
Terrifying and impressive.
yeah. Meanwhile, you look off, and it looks as though that ritual that the witches are performing, they're still kind of doing it, like they're in the near distance. They're still kind of moving around here and there. And a minute or two later, Amian comes back, Louisa in tow, a little paler than the last you saw her. And yeah, Amy and Louisa, you see the dead carcass on the ground as well.
I got it.
Do we need to like offer the thing to the witches or something?
There's no way I'm touching that. There's
Hey!
no.
That
I
little
do like,
shit's the one who cut your tree, but we're gonna bury him. All right, now what's done is done. But he's a kid, and we're gonna bury him. So just piss off with this stuff.
Okay.
Can I make a folklore or a occult on if this was like a thing that he already had, or if this was like a spell that they put on him? Like, was he a werebear, or did they have some spell that they can just cast at will that turns people into bears?
Roll an occult test, sure.
Okay.
Let's see if you can get something out of this.
I'm gonna Benny that. Uh, 5.
Okay. 5 still a success. So, I'll say as far as you know, I mean, I would say you probably aren't aware of any sort of lycanthropic creatures. That seems to be more of like a, maybe a cryptid urban legend thing. Like you've never really had any legitimate encounters with that. However, it's not uncommon. I mean, like you would know that, yeah, witches, magic in general, like has the ability to perhaps cause this to happen. And you also know from the granny woman Selma Potts from back in Gilmer that the witches put some kind of hex on the village of Gilmer, and it's maybe they're connected somehow, but it's really just sort of you theorizing more than knowing anything specific.
How many more people are about to turn into bears?
No, good gracious, don't say that.
I don't want to be a bear. I'm hairy enough as it is.
And Louisa just sort of looks at you side eyes and just steps away.
Look at me, boy. I didn't do nothing.
I mean, I know our daddy wasn't a bear, but Grandpa, don't know.
Grandpa,
Never
he
met
was
him.
furry. I heard stories one time. He couldn't get close to the fires, the campfires, because just all that hair just burned right off, like Velcro going through a white beater. It was hurry. What are we doing here? I've done forgot.
Louisa wants to look towards like the fire and like the witches and whatnot. Has anything changed in what they're doing?
They're still doing their thing. They haven't really paid you too much mind. I mean, you do know that, like, I mean, you could looking over, it's just women within the circle. When Joe tried to like step up, they like sort of chased him away.
Yeah.
It's possible they might be nicer to you. Who knows?
Yeah, they might talk to you, Miss Louisa, but I think we just need to drag this poor boy out of here for a spell.
Well, they certainly have a different approach to their spirituality than I do, but so
I'll tell you what. Why don't you go up there and you talk at them? If they start getting angry,
Run away.
gonna throw this big old nasty corpse at them.
Or that. Both. Do both.
They cast fireball. I cast dead bear boy.
Hey, see, I was about to start digging him a grave, and here you are chucking his dead body. I can't say anything about that, though. I chuck dead bodies, too.
It is fun times.
It's
Throw them
funny.
hard enough, and you spin it, and you snap your wrist when you let go, and the parts go flying. Go wee.
Yeah.
Louisa was a little hesitant to walk, and then she's listening to this conversation, and you just see her gait kind of picks up a little bit.
Okay, so all of you, when you watch Louisa kind of break that perimeter that you saw Joe try to before, you see there isn't that immediate like turn of all of them towards her in this horrible.
You're doing good.
The only thing you do see is that one of the 12 women that are sort of doing that weird kind of feral crawl dance around the fire, one of them breaks off and kind of moves towards Louisa. Louisa, you don't get all the way up to the ritual site, but you get fairly close within like the different hovels of the village. And the woman kind of gets a little bit closer, and I'm not sure how much I describe these, but the witches themselves, like when you look at them, they're certainly humanoid still, but you can tell there's something like they're different. Like their skin is translucent, like almost like kind of graying, translucent. You can see like veins and different sort of like discoloration beneath the skin. The eyes are kind of glowing. They kind of have claws here. Their nails are kind of grown out in this sort of gnarled way that almost make them look like they have claws. They are certainly they're not human women anymore. A witch is a different thing, right? Like they have clearly undergone a transformation. But nonetheless, the one sort of steps up to you and like looks at you, kind of head kind of tilted to the side, and another, and she sort of moves and circles around you. She kind of sniffs. What is it you want?
Well, howdy there. We are kind of traveling through the area and heard that there seemed to be some kind of a disturbance to the health of the folks down yonder, and we're trying to see if we can do something about that.
Down yonder? Where down yonder? And why do
Gilbert.
you wish to help them?
Well, I mean, there's enough that our folks have to deal with the big boys and, everything else. It's just, we really do try to support each other as much as we can outside of those kinds of things.
She holds a crooked arm and points at the dead carcass that the rest of the guys are kind of poking around with right now. You show a funny strategy for helping them. Has that one helped? Is that what you call help? If so, perhaps we can find accord.
We help as we need to. If we are about to be mauled by a terrifying bear, then we do what we need to do to not get mauled.
Roll a persuasion test.
Let's see, that's a that's a fail. I'm gonna spend another Benny.
Okay.
We help others by first helping ourselves.
Oh my gosh, I have yet to roll a success today.
So she just sort of.
I don't see anybody's dice for some reason.
Well, some people are rolling them physically. That's why.
Rolling real dice, Dan.
Yeah, a lot of us are rolling physically.
I don't care how good them glasses are. You won't be able to see Melissa's dice rolls.
No.
Right. It's weird.
I'm
She
trying.
usually cheats. It's very uncommon for her to say she didn't pass a roll. So
Excuse
you
me.
can say, like, you can see that she kind of looks at you and like she's not particularly impressed by what you're saying and doesn't really care too much. And she says, "You have released that one from a lifetime of grief and labor. That is all we mean to do here as well. It would not have harmed you, but that is neither here nor there. His time was limited, as are they all."
Would it be all right if the rest of my folks came over? One of them tried to say hello, and that didn't seem to go too well. But might I be able to bring the rest of them over and join in this here conversation?
Violent, imbecilic men. I am surprised you would keep such company. You may
There are-
choose one to enter.
Well, now you done make me choose favorites or something here, and this is mighty awkward.
Or I can expel you, and this conversation can be over. The choice is yours, feeble-minded young woman.
No one's called me young in quite some time. If I weren't so otherwise off put by this situation, I might find that as a kindness. And so she's actually going to call for Amian. I think
Okay.
going with the
All right.
he's a kid, this might be kind of the least
Mhm.
offensive to their sensibilities. So she's gonna point to Amian and wave him over.
Okay.
You'd see he'd be a little bit annoyed that that's the reasoning.
Oh, that was just Melissa
is-
saying that out loud. That's
yeah.
enough. Louisa did not
Okay.
share.
Good.
That was just Melissa trying to explain to the guys, like,
We'll
"No,
miss
it's
you,
not-
Amian and Louisa.
It's not because I hate you guys. I think I forgot to share that with you. That's what the witches look like in Holler. I put it on the overlay, but I didn't put it on.
You all have fun over there.
So, Eamon, you walk up, and you can see like a few of the others that are circling around this this flame kind of look up at you, and a few hiss, but then they kind of get the woman that's been talking to Louisa kind of turns, and they decide to stop, and they kind of go back to it, and they tentatively allow you to get closer. And yeah, you're right next to them now.
Perhaps
All
this
right.
one. They are young still. They can be molded and useful.
I'm almost 14. That's plenty old enough.
So these here fine women were explaining to me that they are trying to relieve the townsfolk of their need to spend their lives in toil, if I understood that correctly.
Yes.
That's ominously vague. I'm not really sure what they mean by that. And I'm kind of afraid for them to clarify. But what do you mean by relieve?
When we finish the ritual, the beacon will have been risen, and it will lead a path into the otherness for all of the transformed villagers of Gilmer. And there they will disperse, and their grief-stricken lives will be over, and the hardships that they have caused this system here that has withered our power, they will face retribution for it. It is how you people call killing two birds with one stone.
Okay. Is that why they're all kind of feeling sick and sluggish right now?
Yes, this one is not as dim-witted as the others appear to be.
She like leans back and looks at like Double D and Cletus.
I hope I'm like fist, knuckle deep in my nose over there or something.
Oh, man, you toss the feet first. You don't toss the head.
Hey, you grab it right by the neck or right under that jaw so you got good grip, like, ooh, 2 hands right under that thing. And you just yeet, and give it a throw.
You are correct, man. Nobody eats like you.
And like, if you get it right, you'll hear all them cracks, like the backbone go pop, 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 pop. It makes a funny noise.
I wonder how she's doing over there.
Ain't dead. That's a good start.
That is true. There does seem to be a conversation going, a little out of earshot for you.
So if I could clarify, what exactly did they do that brought upon this revenge?
Probably been going too far into the forest.
They have pushed too far into the forest. This is correct, young one, but more importantly, they have felled the boogeyman tree, which we use to supplement and fuel our powers. We are here in this woodland area to both protect it and to feed off of it in a synergistic manner, and they threaten this.
It would appear that it was not a they that felled the tree so much as a he that felled the tree, and as you noticed already, we have already taken care of him.
They have felled many trees, and they push further and further each day, felling trees. Sooner or later, one or another would have taken it down.
Have you ever tried communicating with them without cursing the entire village? Because I'm sure, if they knew you were here, maybe they wouldn't go this direction.
You see her kind of stand up suddenly, like she was kind of like crouched, like,
Are you questioning the wisdom?
Weird.
Boy.
I didn't mean it to sound like I was, but
eyes begin to glow.
We have allowed you safe passage into our home. We will not stand for your insults.
I think it's that one is very curious. He asks lots of questions, and sometimes they don't come out in like the politest of ways, but it's very curious mind there. Just want to know.
Why are you so interested in helping these people? They are broken even before our hex. The Whitaker man saw to that first. They are but shells. Shells of humans. We do them a favor.
Now, I believe that we all have our time to be here and our time to exit. And some of our time is coming upon us a bit sooner than others. But unless there's some kind of violence or something that needs doing, everyone should be able to exist for the time that they have. And I do not believe that it is up to folks to just decide that a whole town full of people there is just done living. That's just not something to abide.
Oh, but it is all right for your friend to decide when that one's living gets to cease. Is it merely a matter of quantity then for you?
In circumstance. Being something coming up on you that could kill you is a different situation than encroaching on an area that doesn't seem to have been delineated and discussed as such.
Okay, how about let's do another persuasion roll. I'll give you -1 penalty, but because Amian's here. But roll again.
-1?
Yeah, -1 penalty.
Oh, I was hoping a +1 because he's here.
No. It's different. Actually, it would normally be a -2 if he did it, but yeah. Split the difference.
Good. Do I have anything?
Um,
I sure don't.
I mean, Amian, if you want to try to roll one at -2, you're welcome.
yeah.
to
Do you
as well.
do you have persuasion?
Yeah.
What
I
do
do.
you? What's your die for
Six.
that?
D6.
Okay, that's also mine. So yeah, it's probably better for you.
You can both roll it. I don't care. We're both talking.
That is a 5. So with the -1, that'll be right on.
Okay. Let's see if Amian gets a raise or anything.
I got a 6 + 3 -2, 7.
Okay, so no raise, but 2 successes. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so she says, kind of looking at you all,
If you care so much for them, perhaps there is a way you might save them, but it would mean you doing something for us.
I'm certainly open to hearing what that might be.
There are
Yeah.
2 tasks. 2 tasks. And if you complete them, you can count us amongst your ally, at least for the time being, and we will leave the town of Gilmer alone. There's another boogeyman tree. It lies in a forbidden forest, woods several miles north of here. We are magically warded from entering by the Piney King. But you are not. If you were to enter their realm and either remove the wards that prevent our entry or defeat the Piney King, we might see to allowing your town to live, or at least to suffer as they have their entire lives.
That
And
is.
It's
I
suffering,
am not
but
finished. Shush. Secondly, one of our own has been taken from us by a man known,
and she kind of sneers.
as Royster Whitaker. Somehow, he has turned our beloved Imogen. And she has now become his constant companion.
So we've heard.
We have no idea how he has done this, but we feel her absence. If you would complete both these tasks, recovering her and gaining us access to the Boogeyman tree in the Piney King's realm, then we would not only relieve Gilmer of their hex, but we would then owe you a favor.
Okay. Few questions. How do we destroy or find these wards? Like, what do they look like? And what do we have to do to break them?
If you agree, we will teach you a ritual. The two of you, I can sense, have some powers in you. You are wise to be the emissaries of the group. If you journey to the tree and perform said ritual, it will alleviate the wards and allow us to port in.
Okay.
Related question, if I may be so bold as to ask. Why
You may not.
did the
Shush. No, go ahead.
Piney King make the decision to banish you all from that forest?
They want the power of the Boogeyman tree to themselves.
I see. What do they do with that power?
Whatever they want. They make pineys.
Would Louisa
Okay.
know what that means?
Both of you can roll a folklore or occult, whichever you prefer.
I've
I'll
got
do a
neither.
folklore.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will roll unskilled.
Oh, 2 6s.
I assume you're talking about the little tiny pine tree air fresheners.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
10.
10. Okay. So, yeah, you would know that they're... I mean, Piney King, it's possible maybe you've heard of... And, like, you certainly heard about them, whether you've encountered them or not. It's kind of... I don't know, maybe. Who knows? But they're a form of... trying to remember if they're... Just looking up what their category is here for you. I forget. I think they're cryptids. Yeah, they're a form of cryptid. And that they are essentially like they're tree people is what they are. And they are, for all intents and purposes, very evil. And they like to lure travelers from the road or into the deep forests, and sometimes, or well, most of the time, you never see those travelers again. And there's, I would say, with a 10, since you got a raise, there are rumors that somehow they make new pineys out of those travelers.
All right.
Seems like someone that we would not feel any
Yeah, lesser of 2 evil type of deal. Maybe.
Oops, sorry about that.
So then my other question then would be, given how powerful all of you are, do you have any idea of what it might have taken for this Mr. Whitaker to be keeping your companion with him against her will? Or do we think this is just a romantic connection with
It
nothing
would
else?
not be that. Do not speak that again.
I assume not, but had to ask what could possibly keep her there.
It is not magical, or at least it is no magic we know. But those industrialists have technology, weird science that I am sure that is somehow connected. Imogene would not betray her sisters for this man, let alone this man.
Y'all do seem to be pretty consistent with your, not big fans of men so much, so I can see that probably not being the thing.
I assume probably in the background by now we're like cupping farts and throwing them at each other. Just to really impress.
I want to ask,
Yeah.
well, is there like any particular thing, like what was her favorite thing to do when she was here? Like what are potential like kind of hooks we can bring up to break her out of whatever mental fuck and like try and get her to want to come back?
Shuffleboard. No,
Sorry?
no. Just a little witch humor. Haruspicy. She would read the entrails of animals and divine futures from them.
So if we come bearing some entrails, she might take kindly to that?
I was more hoping something like, Felix the cat misses you. But we can go with that.
Do you have anything else? I am not here to chit-chat. We have a ritual to complete. There is a timer on this offer, by the way. If you do not complete your tasks before we complete the summoning of the beacon, well then, the fate of Gilmer is sealed. And all of them...
But we can still earn some favors?
We'll see. Hurry along.
Yeah, I guess we'll relay that to the party real quick.
Okay. So we'll say conversation break. She goes back to her ritual and you join the rest of them. As we'll say during that time while you guys were burying the body of Percy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you guys want to do?
Did anyone ask them how long?
It
How
just
long?
seemed with haste seemed like enough.
Turn around and walk back down the mountain in the night.
You have until sundown tomorrow.
Ah, shit.
All right, what do we
Yeah,
punch?
I guess we gotta take them up on their offer. I don't really see any other way to do it.
I'm assuming we agreed to take the job and then they told us how to get rid of the wards.
Yeah, so we'll say we don't have to play it out, but we'll say that they teach her the ritual, which is a series of sort of like it's basically similar to what they're doing. This kind of feral dance involves circling the tree and like touching the bark in kind of a specific pattern to sort of breathe out some of the runes and wards.
I would imagine that like Double D and Cletus and
Oh man, I want to learn that dance so bad.
Seen like they're practicing of this.
Mm-hmm. Technically, anyone can
do
do it. Technically, anyone can do it. It's just they were only willing to teach the two of you, but you two could teach the rest of them, sure.
And so
yeah,
we'll
well-
see Louisa like
I'm gonna dance so good. I'm
We'll
gonna slap
definitely
that
teach
ground.
them away from eyesight of the the others.
Oh yeah, I'm wiggling now. I'm a wiggling. Just like that.
Do the Macarena.
Hey, Macarena.
All right.
Man, you
So-
gotta wiggle it just a little bit.
Just a little
Just a
bit.
little bit.
No. Touch a tree Macarena now.
Oh god, we're so old. All right, so what do you guys want to do?
Go punch King.
Yeah, man, I want to go punch Pine King.
I want to go punch Pine King.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far away is where we need to go?
It's a hike north, but it's not. I mean, it's you could probably get there within 2 hours, maybe 3 hours.
Okay. Just trying to make sure that we don't gotta be like choosy about the order of things.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So
I feel like punching the Tiny King's probably going to be the harder of the two tasks because.
Yeah, man. And you know what? When you got to eat a frog, you do that first thing in the morning, so nothing else will seem half as bad
That is
the
true.
rest of the day.
Yep.
Maybe you never cooked a good frog.
You cook frog. What are you talking about? You just snatch them on up, slurp them down like kicking spaghetti.
So from what, so the piney forest area is closer to Weird, and you still don't actually know where Whitaker is. So there's that too. You'd have to actually figure out where he's at too.
Can we ask the witches if they're like able to locate her general direction, or anything? If they're able to like sense her?
Sure. You walk back up.
And they're like, what now? Come on, we have to... We're doing your work for you. It's not like you're even doing us a favor now.
You did roll. You did pass. You did both pass your persuasion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll say,
Whitaker has many cabins in the area where he spends time away from the cities. It is within one of these we presume Imogene to be. Which we cannot say.
I think that was a witch pun.
Fireball.
I wouldn't deserve that one. That's fair.
Okay.
To the fire off.
Can ask around for where those cabins are and start there. Off to kill some evil ents.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that the plan? Is that what you guys want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start with pioneers.
Sure.
Okay, sure. How about somebody give me a survival test as you try to trek through the woods towards this
All right.
direction where you're
Moment
supposed
it's
to
got
go?
done this way. Hole 4 for me.
All we need.
A 4? Okay.
Yep, the
So-
bare minimum I delivered.
Good
That's
job.
what I like to hear. So you travel, like I said, for about between 2 and 3 hours. You're kind of traveling north, and again, it's dark. It's nighttime. It's not quite midnight when you first set out, but by the time you probably arrive, it's somewhere around midnight. And more than the darkness being an issue, you have heard sort of these distant rumblings of thunder. Like, I don't know why a frog. Wait, what? Weird stuff's happening with my sounds right now. Everything's playing all at once.
Hey, we're gonna eat
Stop
some
it.
kicking spaghetti tonight.
Yeah, we are.
Kicking nuggets.
Oh, I like that. That's a fun name. That's
Yeah.
when you.
It's weird.
That's for the fat
It's raining
ones.
frogs. Okay.
It's raining frogs.
Please no.
Oh yeah, it's
There
raining
we go.
frogs.
Okay, I got it now. But there are storms. Like, you can tell, you can hear them. There's like a foulness on the wind, smell of. It's raining here and there, but it's light at first. But you can tell that it's even more than, like, there's even worse to come. Like, it's not just like, this isn't like it's probably going to be a deluge at some point, and so you know that there is a storm here. And I would say, Douglas, with your survival test, like as you're kind of scouting and you're kind of looking up at the way in which the lightning is sort of shifting through the clouds in this kind of discolored manner, you would know that it's not just any old storm, that you would get the feeling that there's a blight storm on the horizon, which could be difficult. So time is of the essence. Like, you kind of get that sense. So you kind of pick up the pace, you kind of move as best you can, and you kind of continue to travel in this sort of northwesternly direction, deeper and deeper, and further away from Weird and further away from Gilmer. Eventually, as you're looking around, you come across a clearing. And there's a few things that sort of kind of stand out to you. First, you notice that there's like this massive tree, right? Like, that severely dwarfs all the others, and it seems to actually be kind of on this mound, risen up on this very large mound, that helps to kind of have it tower over all the other trees that are anywhere within sort of the distance of it. But there is like a clearing that sort of surrounds it, so it almost kind of separates it from all these others.
Must be the buggy tree.
The next thing you notice is that there are all these pine needles all over the ground. And you can see that there's like one specific smaller mound that seems to not have them on top of them, and that like they're kind of instead sort of circled around. And the third thing you notice, this is probably not in this order, you probably would have noticed this one first, is you notice a bunch of very strange creatures kind of moving about in the area. They're probably the size of your friend from your Fae friend from back in Ashdown, a couple feet off the ground at most. They're all kind of sweeping around. You can see like kind of messing around with the needles, and they're kind of moving round and round this kind of mound that has like none of the pine needles on it, kind of right out in front of the tree itself. I'll give you a picture. I'll show you what they look like. I showed the stream already, but that's what they look like. They have brooms.
So awesome.
And as
Cool.
I'm going to say you're at the edge of the clearing. You haven't actually entered the clearing yet, but all of you, especially those of you with a decent amount of notice, you kind of hear that there's something coming from them. You can kind of hear sounds like they're talking. The thunder crackles a bit and like kind of drowns it out. And then you realize suddenly that it's actually not talking that they're doing, but rather they appear to be doing some kind of song. And it sounds like this. And this continues to go on over and over. And you just hear them kind of continuing to chant that in the background.
Jeff, is that you?
It might be.
Nice.
It might be. I might have spent a lot of time on that today when I really should have been working, but that's neither here nor there. Call me out. Yeah, I mess around.
Pretty fantastic.
With a chipmunk voice over top of it, that's all, or with a chipmunk filter. So yeah, you hear them singing. They're talking. Yeah, you could tell they're doing something, and not only that, but they're like watching. They're like all around this mound. And how about this? How about you all go ahead and roll a notice test?
Okay. Man, I got myself a real dumb idea.
Oh my gosh.
That's a success with a 4. Who is this? Oh my gosh.
My goodness. Cletus.
Like I said, man, I got an idea.
I got 13. I done to get a good do too.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Somehow, Cletus and Double D, the brothers,
Appalachian Ninjas.
you two notice with kind of a sudden, a decent amount of like horror, that it's not just any mound that they're messing around with. It appears to be a grave. And more than that, as you're watching, it looks like there is like a body that seems to be kind of thrashing around a little bit in it. And as the two of you are watching, you see them kind of drag out what looks like this dried, dirt-stained human body, and it just kind of starts to crack apart and sheds like bark onto the ground. And you see emerging from it as it kind of another one of these small creatures seems to emerge.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, man. Oh man, he's screwed. That's gonna happen to us if we die.
Yeah, it is.
I hope they get you first, man.
Go ahead and roll. Everyone, go ahead and roll a fear test. Roll spirit.
Do we
No,
know
thanks.
approximately how long we have to do this ritual for?
It's gonna take you about a minute or more. Yeah, it's gonna take you a couple minutes.
Hey, that's actually what I was gonna bring up earlier. So when we do that, we got basically like reach out and touch the tree and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta kind of like dance and circle around the tree, and then you kind of touch the bark intermittently, and they are kind of blocking the ramp, like the sort of the mound that goes up to the top where the tree seems to be.
Now I do hear that, but on the flip side, between me and my brother there getting those crazy notice rolls, have we picked up maybe on the words of this little sing song?
Yeah.
What if we do ourselves a stomp party, right? And we kind of sing and dance along with it, and then we sneak in some little sick dance moves here and there while we're doing the dance party, so we don't have to fight them, man. We just dance with them,
Just
the
put
ritual.
a bunch of like sticks and leaves all over our bodies.
Yeah, man.
Hey, now that might be a good idea and all, but I'm looking down here at this dice tray and I see 2 ones pointing up at me.
Oh no.
Oh.
On a fear test. Oh my.
Oh.
Okay. So
That'd be a solo stomp party.
It's going to be stomping. I'm running away, shitting britches and leaving trails behind me as I disappear in the woods.
something terrible happened on a crit. Something terrible has to happen on a crit, right?
I think so. I mean, it's got to be like these guys are like, no, you done pooping tonight.
Man, that's
Okay,
why you get
add
yourself the
+2
overalls
to
that are
critical
one
fail.
size
Okay.
bigger, so it can just drop out.
Just shake it out your pant leg. Just
Shake it a shake.
Yeah, just shake it, shake it.
Shake it a shake. Shake it a shake.
God, I love Mama Purdy. She's
Mama
one of my
Purdy's
favorite
so
characters I've ever played. All right,
All right,
so
I can take a shaking.
you're sitting there, Cletus, and you're trying to go over this plan with Double D, and Double D's not saying
Wow.
anything back to you, and you're kind of going through the going through the lyrics, and it's like pinies, a body in the ground, pinies, it doesn't make a sound, pinies, needles in the wind, pinies, let's make another friend. And so as you're kind of sussing out, you look over and you see that Double D is just flush white, as pale as you've ever seen him.
I ain't want to be no tree. Ah!
Man,
Louisa wants to. I think I can do something with this. So Louisa wants to kind of come up behind him, and I want to see if I can cast relief.
Okay.
nice.
So you get up, you cast relief. Go ahead and roll it. It's fine.
So I've got to do faith, which is 8.
I'll let y'all know if he decides to run. I can't stop him.
Yeah, I succeed with a 5.
Okay. You guys
So-
notice as she reaches out, she casts a spell. Everything works fine. But you notice the wind is kind of kicking up a little bit. You can see the trees are kind of swaying a lot more. Like the pinies out there are kind of pushing away the sort of dried out exoskeleton that was the human from which this new piney came. And as you're watching, you're noticing like on one side of the clearing where like the trees are sort of swaying in this wind, there's like two that seem to sort of sway in directions kind of opposite the wind is actually blowing. And you actually see one of the trees is moving toward the middle of the clearing. And that's when you look up and you see standing in front of you a creature not horribly dissimilar to these small little pinies, but much, much bigger. 30 feet tall, with these long kind of branches that seem to extend out into arms. And you can see it kind of reaches down like it's this big old arm. It almost just seems to kind of baptize this piney that just broke free from this human. I'll go ahead and share this one with you too, so you can see what they look like. This and you would assume without any doubt that 30-foot tall thing that picks up the like the cast aside cocoon of the human, and it's like in the palm of one of its bark covered hands.
Yeah.
What you guys like to do?
Ah! Did you magically unshake me?
Yes. Yeah, I think we're gonna need you.
All right, man, so
one
like,
of us probably needs to run around and touch trees, and the other of us probably need to try not to die.
okay, man, that thing seems to have something that looks almost like eyes up in that bushy part. Somebody else do the dancing. I'm gonna climb this tree. I'm gonna rip its wood eye out.
All right, you all do the dancing. He's gonna do the eyeball ripping, and I'm gonna play defense with these little things on the ground. Do
Yeah,
punching.
man. Yeah, just pretend like they're
Yeah.
children. I know how much you hate children.
Little bastards. They're looking all short for them on glare at Amian.
There you go.
Does it matter how many people do the ritual, or is it the same amount of time no matter what?
As many as you want can do it, but you can tell that there are about a dozen of these little pinies and one 30-foot tall piney king that are right in the way of where you need to go. And with the piney king now here, I need all of you to roll a stealth test to see if it notices you. The little ones I can, but this thing can staring down 30 feet up.
Yeah.
I done took a point of stealth. I can roll.
We do
Two.
have bennies, by the way, in case anybody needs them. I am going to use one right now.
I'm gonna save
7.
mine for stretching out my 2 rounds of combat as long as possible.
Is,
Got 5. I'm
is it a
good.
contested roll, or is it just rolling above 4 again?
Just
I
roll,
got a
just
7.
roll, so I know what you get. Yeah.
Got a 5.
Got a 5. That's most I can count on one hand.
I had a 5, minus 2.
Okay. Okay.
Yikes.
Give me the scores again.
5.
5,
7.
3 5s, and a 7 and a 3.
Okay. So as you guys are sitting there, you just unshake Double D. You're like looking out in horror. You're like working on a plan, working on a pen, talking. Kind of crouch down behind some vegetation, sort of behind some of the trees. All of a sudden, you hear, and you see that giant, or not giant, that like 6'5" man that this creature kind of broke out of was hurled across the clearing and smashes down right in the middle of where the 5 of you, sans Joe, are actually discussing this. And you see this ripped apart, dried out husk of a body from where the piney like burst from, like what's it called, a chest burster coming out from Alien. And you can see as you look up in the direction, all of a sudden all of these little pinies are like, "Ah!" with their big old brooms up in the air as they're chasing after you, and you see the Piney King is right behind.
Oh shit, Double D, he stole our move. He tossed the body at us.
Hey, Dad, that's pretty goddamn cool. Not so cool.
Man, I mean, it was cool, but I can't stand for that, man. That's like copyright infringement or
It
something.
is. My lord.
Okay, we're gonna treat this. We can go full combat. I have a map ready. If you guys want to do full combat, we can do it. We can do a dramatic task. I'm game either way. You guys, if there's a preference, one or the other, you guys let me know.
Well, let's do this dramatic like. I like that.
Dramatic,
Run
like,
around.
fun.
Okay.
Call me the
do you
windmill
want to do
fist.
dramatic? We each have different jobs. I like.
So yeah. So there's gonna be 3 rounds. Okay. And so basically, there's going to be 2 dramatic tasks happening at the same time. So there's going to be one that's going to cover the ritual. So, and then there's going to be one that's going to cover holding off this army of Pineys. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And I'll say that for the ritual one, so we're going to do 3 rounds. I mean, it's like for both of them, we're going to do 3 rounds. And you need 12 for one person. Hang on, let me read this again. Okay, a single person performs the ritual. So only one person is going to perform the ritual. But you can, I'll say, just to make it fun, you can switch it out per round if you want to. But you would need a total of 12 after 3 rounds to get the ritual to be successfully performed. Okay?
And what
Make
is the
sense?
ritual based on?
So the ritual doesn't. I think it's just. You know how it works. So
Like agility?
it's really. I don't think you actually have.
Performance?
Yeah, you don't actually have to roll anything for it. It's just you just dedicate your turn to it. So. Yeah, I mean anyone can do it. Like, but we'll say Louisa and Amian, you know how to do it. You know how. You're the 2 that were taught by the witches how to do it.
Yeah.
So just. No, I guess we would need to roll because we have to collect tokens, right? So
to get the
I would.
total, yeah.
Yeah, let's base it. I would say it would probably be based off like either a cult or if you have like a caster magic thing, probably that would do. One of those 2 would do. So like folk magic or a cult would probably be where I would say.
Okay. What about performance since it's a dance?
Sure, I'll take performance. That's fine.
Do you have these
Yeah.
in a cult, Amian?
I have a D4, occult, and performance.
At least it's not unskilled.
And 5 bennies.
Right.
Now the
Oh,
other
yeah,
thing I'm
there
going to
you
do for the army thing is you're going to describe how you can do whatever you want. It's fine. But the Piney King is going to actually get to do something every round as well because he's got some special things he can do. So every round of the dramatic task, he's going to do something, and that's that. Okay?
I thought that this was just going to be us looking cool, and then you're just removed from the equation, Jeff.
He's going to do something every round. He'll be the last to go, so you guys can go first. But that's how that works. Okay.
All right.
So all you got to do if you're the army people, I'll say, I'll say what you need to do every round. So there's 4 people. So we'll say every round there needs to be like 3. Like you need to have 3 tokens every round to keep the Pineys off of the ritual person. So there's 4 of you, and as long as every round you guys can amass 3 tokens per round, the ritual is not interrupted. Does that sound cool?
Hey,
3 successes, or
Well, raise will count as a token. So a success is a token, or a raise is a token. So you can potentially get 2 tokens on a roll.
all right. I got this. Good. I'm gonna. All right.
We got to. It's a dramatic test, so we got to do initiative.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I initiated once. I
I
still
feel like
can't
we
get them
probably
pants
want
clean.
Amy and Louisa ritual in as much as possible.
And remember that on a dramatic task, if you draw a club, that means a complication has occurred.
Oh,
And
that's
so
right.
so if you fail your task, if you draw a club, the dramatic task as a whole fails. So that means you guys are overwhelmed, and yeah, something bad will happen.
We all get to play as little chipmunk people.
But you can choose not to do something. It just means you don't get to do anything that turn. But if you do something, it's at a -2 that round. Okay?
You
All
said
right.
doo-doo.
As I said, do. You can always help
Doo-doo.
each other and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. Looks like you guys lucked out. First round, no one got any clubs. And so here we are. We'll just reset the scene. You guys are at the edge of the clearing. You're by some brush and some boulders. You thought you were kind of hidden. All of a sudden, this body comes raining down. You look up and you see the Piney King is thumping after you guys. But in front of them, like this infantry of like a dozen small shrubbery sized 3 to 4 foot tall trees are chasing after him. No friend! With their brooms up in the air. Louisa, you are up first.
All right. Let's dance. This is so she's gonna do performance. So she's got a D6 in performance, and we'll see how this goes. That is a 4.
Okay, so describe how Louisa manages to get through this oncoming army and up the mound. Like account for it. Describe it. Flavor it up, Melissa.
So Louisa is she's the like kind of like a shuffle thing with her feet, where it's almost as if she's like doing like a sweeping motion. So kind of like she's like just with her boots, just kind of mimicking kind of the motion that like the little pinies were doing. So she's kind of just kicking a little bit to the left and kicking a little bit to the right. And so just kind of with that kind of shuffle move, she kind of just makes it through kind of unnoticed.
Okay. All right. So you make it up, and so you are one of the 4 you would need by the end of 3 rounds. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So as everyone's reading there, you see Louisa break off, people kind of shouting, hollering, drawing them towards you, and then she manages to sort of beguile them with her strange little approach, climbs up the side of the mound, gets up towards a tree, and sort of begins the ritual. Amian, you are next.
All right. I think I want to try and taunt and divert as many of the little ones away as possible.
Absolutely.
And free up some room for the big guy. So I'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead and
I'm gonna Benny that.
Okay.
10.
10. Okay,
Ooh.
that's 2 successes.
Oh.
Okay, remember you only need 3 per round to ensure that Louisa's not interrupted. Okay, so describe how you taunt them away. What is it you do to lure a bunch of them?
I imagine I have like a healthy branch. I'm like, hey, and I break it and start laughing and run.
You see a few of them. Rage just suddenly grows on their bark-like faces. Like, you killed Fred! And they come after you with brooms in their hair. Okay.
All right.
Double D, you're up next. I forgot to add the Piney King.
You're muted, Chuck.
I'm muted. I'm muted on the thing and not on the other thing. So I was confused. Corn fuzzled, as they like to say it. I yell out, distraction! Then I charge in. And I just start grabbing these little piney things and just tossing them around. Just, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to roll me in athletics. I get
That sounds
double
great.
D8s.
Okay.
All right, first die is a number that's hard to read. What is this shit? That's a 7. All right, that's a 7. And the second one. No, wait, I'm doing this wrong. I roll a D6 in the thing. The skill. I was doing the thing, and not the other thing in the thing.
Well
all right,
said.
so I got a 7 and a 2. So I got a 7.
Okay, 7. That's a success. So you start running in. You see, I see like about 3 of them are chasing Amian off as he's like carrying the stick behind him that's like limped and broke, and they're like, ah! And you just there's like this whole group of about 4 or 5 of them that you just distraction. You just pick them up and throw one, smash 2 together, drop them to the ground.
Yep.
You know, they scramble up and they're sweeping at you with their brooms. But you have attracted a few of them to you, absolutely.
I'm good.
Next up is Cletus.
Now, you know, this here King Panda, he's real big. I imagine I ain't going to be able to get up the whole scale of him in one round. I
Okay.
understand that. But I'm going to start climbing up. I competitively tree climbed as a youth. We talked about that once before.
That is true.
I'm just going to climb up as much of his leg as I can. And with that gouger talent, it lets me kind of negate some of the penalties for doing a call shot. I figure I could start climbing up his leg. I just want to get up close enough, kind of right around his grundle region. I'm going to reach up into the mossy nether region and just grab something and pluck.
Get you some acorns.
I'm going to get me
Get
some
them
acorns.
walnuts.
I'm going to get them walnuts, son.
All right. So you run up and you try to climb up to get into
Yeah.
his nether regions. Okay. What do you want to roll for that? Do you want to do the climb or do you want to do?
I'm happy to do whatever you prefer. I'm glad to roll climb because I have to climb to get there before I can do
Yeah.
the fight, or I'm glad to roll the fight too.
Roll a climb because he's not stationary and he doesn't want
Yeah.
you to climb him. So let's roll a climb. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's a success. So 6, you get up, you climb up. You're kind of you got those of you who are watching Cletus still, so maybe Douglas who hasn't gone yet. You watch as he just climbs on up and he disappears between like this string of like leaves and brush, and you can see the Piney King as he's kind of sweeping down in his own body as there's something crawling around on top of him. We'll do the Piney King. All right, so the Piney King is going to do. So this is what I said. Every round he's going to do.
Does he
a
go last in
SWAT.
the round? Did you say?
I realized that we need to do it as initiative. I forgot we had to do
Oh.
initiative. So
I'm last this round,
So I'm just going to put it in initiative.
Yeah.
as I
so-
should be.
So it's going to do a sweeping branch in the area, and I'm going to say, Louisa, you've run off.
Mm-hmm.
Amy and you've run off, but the other 3 haven't. So, yeah. So I think what he's going to do, yeah. So I'm going to roll to see if I hit. And so he just basically starts wildly sweeping with his arms, trying to hit Double D, trying to hit Cletus, who's kind of climbed up on him, trying to hit Douglas, who's preparing to do something else as well. Let me pull out this D12 really quick. And this other thing.
I think I'm just preparing to take a dirt nap.
Man,
Okay.
I'd love for him to roll some double ones and punch himself in the acorns.
If I roll double ones, is exactly what it'll do. Okay. That's it. That exploded.
That is not a double one.
Okay. So I did roll a 1, but I also rolled a 6 on the D6. So I rolled a total of a 7. So how many of you, I'll say, Cletus, take a +2 to your defense because you're on him. So we'll say it's much harder for him to hit you. So how many of you have a 7 or less when it comes to your parry rating?
Oh, man.
So Douglas, it hits you?
Just me.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be, and this does have reach on it too, so it would be able to hit a bunch of you. Okay. So this is going to hit Douglas, who hasn't even gone yet. I feel bad. No, I don't. I don't feel bad.
I wouldn't.
Are you kidding me? Explode.
Oh gosh.
Okay. That's 19 points of damage.
Oh,
As Douglas takes a massive tree
I
limb.
think that just
upside
kills
the
me
head.
outright. So
No, he could roll vigor. You got
You
your
still get to
vigor
roll
soak.
vigor
You roll
Yeah.
vigor to soak.
to soak.
And what's your toughness at?
5.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
okay, so it's-
no.
It's 9.
2, 3. That's 4, right?
13.
I think that's 4.
Yeah.
All right,
Mhm.
so go ahead and roll soak, and as long as you can soak one of them, then
We have bennies if you need
Yeah.
them.
Okay, so that looks like a 5 on one of the die, I think. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it worth it to try and Benny that? Do we think, or just take the mostly obliterated?
Well, it would just be 2 wounds. I mean, you ain't dead.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd just be 2 off of that.
Yeah, you would be you would be at shaken with 2 wounds if you take that roll.
All right. Well, it's not dead.
Yeah, that's not dead. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So
Ooh.
you are shaken with 2 wounds as you get thrown to the side. You get smashed up against like a branch as you just flung over top of these like 5 or 6 pineys that are swinging at Double D. Double D, you managed to just almost dumb luck, just duck at the right time as you're reaching down to punch one of them, and you hear "Whoa!" As you look up. Douglas is just flying over top of your head and smashes into the back of a tree limb as you see another tree limb just kind of pass over top of you. And it is now your turn, Douglas.
Yeah.
Poor Douglas.
I feel bad.
Poor Dan.
Okay.
You can spend a Benny
Yeah, spend a Benny to unshake.
to unshake.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and do that.
And then
Just roll it again, or all right, whatever. I don't know what's going on.
Benny. You're good.
You just
All
spend
right.
a Benny and you're automatically recovering.
All right.
It's gonna get worse here in a sec too, which is funny. Possibly.
Yeah. Probably. I might as well just flail my axe around wildly at something.
Sure, there's plenty of trees to cut down. Yeah.
Plenty of trees. Hopefully the right ones. Maybe the
You
piney
see,
ones.
you see a group start charging at Louisa. They're like some went after Amian, some are Double D has. Cletus went for the big guy. There's still like a trio of pineys that are heading now at Louisa, and so like maybe you rush to intercept them with your axe.
Stumbles probably more accurate, but
Go for it.
just roll the attack.
Yeah, attack,
To check
attack
it?
would be fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's a what's it called?
You know what? Yep. Let's just go ahead and throw that on there.
Oh no.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no.
Oh,
That's not what you wanted to do.
oh my God, you chopped your own toes off. Oh no.
I am just not meant to live.
right.
I'm so sorry.
I'm just gonna do this now because I think it works with the crit fail. You see Douglas charge in as he gets up after smashing up against this tree. His head's sort of shaking. He's still in his bleeding here and there. His arm's not quite right, but he sees the 3 pineys heading after Louisa, and he's like, "Oh no, you don't!" And he gets his axe. He's chasing. He's running it high. He's holding it high up in the air. He's about to swing it when suddenly a crack of lightning strikes down from above right onto the axe that he has lifted high, the highest piece of metal.
Turns out I'm not far.
Okay, that's a shitty roll at least. Okay, I did roll 2. That's 7 points of damage you take.
Wow.
You can soak like normal. That was a bad roll.
Ooh.
What does vulnerable do?
Vulnerable is people get +2 on their attacks to you.
Okay, so that doesn't affect us at least.
Okay. So yeah.
Let's see. All right.
All right,
I'm
there
all right on
you go.
this one.
You managed to soak it. So, and like there you are, having just gotten thrown across the battlefield, smashing a tree. You get up, you run, you get struck by lightning. Your hair suddenly goes bursting out in different directions, and you're motionless. And you see that there's these pineys that are now crawling up the mound towards where Lisa are, and they're up ahead of you, like a good 5 seconds of your life are missing now from you. You have no idea where they went and what happened in those.
At
5
least 5 seconds.
Yeah, rat farts. Yeah. Okay. Next round. Okay. So.
Oh, no.
The Piney King goes first. On the bright side, I'm gonna say Douglas ran, so he's out we'll say he's out of that range. And so I'll say this is just going to be against Double D and Cletus. So he's going to do the same thing. Cletus, take your +2 because of the because you're on him. What is that?
I'm up in his grundle.
Yeah, that's a 9. It's a 9.
Oh, sorry.
How about you,
Not
Double
with that
D?
+2.
All right, 9 again. We're going against toughness, right? Yeah, I got
This is
8.
Perry. This is Perry.
Perry also 8.
Okay, so this will hit. So that's a hit
Yeah.
against you. So then I roll. Oh, Chuck. I just rolled a 12 on that D12 also.
Oh, God.
My new Norse Foundry
Oh,
D12.
no.
Oh boy. The next one was a 1 though. So 13 points of damage.
All right, well, so that's going against toughness. I got an 8.
Okay.
That's
That's
not
math.
so bad against you
That's
at
2
least.
then.
That's a
So
wound.
you're
Shaking in a wound.
But you
All
can
right.
soak and maybe get rid of both if you wanted.
I give it a go, I think. What is that? That's a vigor test.
Vigor, yep.
Vigor to shake it, shake.
Shaky.
That's
Anytime
just a
someone
D6.
decides- Anytime someone decides to go real vigor, they gotta say shake.
Shake it.
Yeah, my
Oh, I
husband
got a
is very
6.
vigorous.
That one explodes.
Oh.
All right, that's all you need for this in this case.
I got 10.
Okay. So
All
you
right.
you get just like thwacked with this big old tree branch, like smashed down to the ground. You see all the other pinies go, "Rah!" They kind of fall back, and you realize like they just took a hand, like this giant wooden hand smashed you down. But as they release, you realize like you had so much weight from yourself and from the hand that you just got kind of pushed down into the dirt, and it could have done so much worse. As you get up, there's now a crater from where you got pushed down into the dirt, but you're okay.
Well, it's a D-hole right there.
Hey, look at that D-hole.
And it is your
Yeah.
turn, Double D.
This thing, I mean, I ain't a fan of giving me a dirty high five, but I got a job to done do, and that's taking this Palmer from getting all sticked up with the little piney thing. So I'm gonna take a cue from the big one. I'm gonna go around and just high five the shit out of these things' faces. Just run around, just bam, bam, call me E Honda.
Okay.
All right, I get to roll a D6, a D12, because I'm gonna use fighting.
Okay.
I got. Well, I get to add a number to that. I get to add a 1 to that. Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's a 9.
Okay. 9 is 2 successes. So that's 2 of the 3 you guys need to keep them suitably distracted. And you just, as the hand lifts, they kind of got the radius of it. So you could see some of them got knocked down because of the tremors. You get up first, you crawl out of the crater and just smack. And it's kind of embarrassing. They're like, as your hand just keeps, crashing against the bark. And you still manage to keep yours like kind of under control. Yeah.
All right, I got to correct you on something there. You got something wrong in terminology. I did not crawl out of a crater. I crawled out of a D-hole.
Okay. I'm sorry. Crawled out of the hole, start smacking with your hand. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. All right. Next up, it's old Amian.
All right, you've drawn a few of these away, Amian, with your broken twig.
Yep.
I think so go ahead. What do you want to do now?
I think I just want to keep him preoccupied and maybe try and snag a few more. I just want to be like grabbing handfuls of leaves off of bushes and stuff as I'm running, just like trashing it.
Off.
Yeah, as much as I can.
Okay. What do you want to roll for this then?
Another taunt.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's good.
Oh, 6, 2, 8.
8. Okay, that's another race. Okay, so you guys have hit what you need for this round. Okay.
I helped.
What I'll say, how about we do this? Once you guys hit the round, if somebody wants to try to go help, if somebody's turn hasn't come up and they want to try to go help the ritual, like they could potentially give like Louisa a bonus or something on a roll or whatever. We're kind of playing this fast and loose with like our own little machination of a dramatic task, more complicated. And Louisa, it is your turn now. You can see there is a fight happening. You haven't seen Cletus in a while. So you curve around, but as you curve around the tree and you're doing your dance, you see a bolt of lightning strike Douglas. His hair stick up, and he just stays frozen just for a good 5 seconds, completely unmoving. And then you watch as Double D gets squatted with a big old bark-like hand, but then seems to crawl out of the D hole once the hand is removed. And meanwhile, Amian's like running around, pulling leaves off of bushes and like throwing twigs at the faces of these little creatures. What would you like to do, Louisa? How would you like to now roll to continue the ritual?
So what I would say is I'm probably still gonna roll a performance on this.
Okay.
But I would imagine that she has like I'm kind of imagining she's kind of doing more of like a, kind of like rubbing the hands together and kind of like a stomp on one foot, stomp on another foot kind of a motion. That's kind of the part of the ritual that she's at.
Okay.
So it like looks a little bit different.
Go for it.
So that is going to be a D6 and a D6. And that is an explode. And another explode. And a 5. So that
What's the total?
A 17.
Okay. I mean, that's going to give 2 more tokens. So you're 3 of the 4 you need. So all you need is a base success on the 3rd round, and you should be fine. So as you're like running around, and every time you kind of stomp your palm onto the bark, you can see the bark just immediately begin to kind of twist and contort in such a way as now that you're close to it, you can see that the tree, much like the other one that you were kind of messing around with Percy Ray, like it has these little kind of runic symbols, like this like twisting, whirling bark. But every time you touch it, they kind of seem to sort of unknot and start kind of twisting in a different direction, as if the worlds themselves are like representing like the limitations, and you're kind of unbinding them somehow.
Under her breath, you just she's just kind of says quietly to herself like, "Oh, thank you, I think it's working."
Douglas, you've just been struck by lightning. There's 3 that are climbing up the mound. Looks like Cletus and Double D have the big one in hand. I don't know.
I don't even know what I should be doing anymore.
Whatever you like.
I'm torn between trying to attack the 3 in front of me or just going up the mountain and rolling around on the ground and saying, "I'm a witch. Look at me, I'm a witch."
I like the second one. That lightning did something weird to Douglas.
I'm going with that one. Look at me doing the witch thing.
If you want to do that and you succeed on a performance roll, I will give Louisa a +1 in her on her roll next round.
Perfect. Let's do it. I have performance.
Okay. Please do.
Nice.
If you get a raise, I'll give her +2. What'd you do?
I got a 4.
Okay, so Louisa, as you kind of curve around. This tree is massive, don't forget, and so like there's huge blind spots when you're on one side. But you curve around, and suddenly you see
put my axe down, and
Douglas is up here, and he's rolling around the ground, and he's just saying, "I'm a witch, I'm a witch," over and over again, as these pinies are kind of staring at him, confused at what the hell's happening. Okay, and then finally Cletus, in the nether regions of this giant creature. What do you want to do?
Yeah, man, I done crawled up way deep in his bush, man, right? And I'm going to try and find his acorns. I'm going to get some nuts up in my armpit, man. I'm going to put my foot up against his thigh. I'm going to reach back and I'm going to rip them some bitches off.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
At least I really hope so.
You guys made the right choice doing the dramatic task. I'll tell you this thing's stats when we're done with this.
I'm gonna spend a Benny. I'm sure 5 misses.
Yes.
I just can't imagine the economy would have been in any way favorable to us to do real combat.
I don't see okay.
Let alone the
Right.
stats.
So you are reaching, you're pulling, you're punching, you're stabbing, you're doing every gouging trick you know in the book, and it's not just like, this is not just any old tree. Like, yeah, it's malleable and moving, but at the same time, it feels like fortified, right? Like the bark itself just feels extraordinarily tough. Like, you kind of rip a piece off here, you take some of like this branch, this leaf, and you kind of feel it kind of jolt a little bit, but you think it's more annoying it than you are really kind of lastingly damaging it at this point. Like, it's not like screaming out in pain, but you are getting its attention as it constantly kind of sweeps down in your direction, but just can't seem to find you because you're just like kind of within its defenses. All right. Third round. Okay. Before Cletus goes with a joker.
Yes.
So whenever a blight storm is happening, which is what's currently kind of going on around, and it's during combat, whenever a joker is rolled, a random target on the field gets attacked. So
Oh,
I hope it's me.
struck by lightning. I gave it to Dan because it was a crit fail, and it just felt right. Okay, so all right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Amian, you're running, and you're like taunting, and you're like kind of showing this leaves right in front of these things, and all of a sudden you hear the crackling of thunder, and this bright bolt of lightning goes striking right down.
I didn't know they could do that.
Oh God. Okay, not great roll. 4 + 3 + 1, 8 points of damage.
8. Okay. The vigor test, right? To
Yes,
soak
you
it?
can soak. You can totally soak.
2 5s.
Okay, so yeah, you would have soaked, and even if that caused a, well, I mean,
Yeah, your toughness is 5.
I rolled an 8. Yeah, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Okay.
Okay. Just double checking one quick thing. Okay, you're good to go.
Can I make
actually,
a
wait
test to
second.
try and redirect the lightning into a tree?
I'm gonna
something?
Make a test to redirect the lightning to the tree. Do you have
I want
spells or something
like
that?
whatever I'm holding on to catch on fire.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, when we
right.
get to your turn, yeah, we can say you do that. But we're gonna start
Okay.
with Cletus with a joker with a +2. What do you want to do, man?
Ah, man, I'm realizing now this ain't no normal grundle, man. So
Mm.
I'm glad nobody can see me do this. But I'm gonna bite into that stem.
Oh God.
So I got hands, feet, and teeth all digging in. I'm gonna rip this here acorn off.
To the makers of Holler, I apologize for. Go
I'm
ahead.
sure this is what they had planned.
This is exactly that. There actually is a paragraph in directions for if your player wants to crawl into the nether regions of the Piney King. This is what you do. 8 is enough. 8 is its parry rating. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, I get
You're gonna get your success for that. No problem. But roll damage. See if you can damage this thing.
So if I was doing called shot grundle, can I do that similarly to if I was doing called shot head for the?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You just. You
I
reach
don't know
out.
if his 11's enough.
Oh! And you realize you hurt yourself more than you hurt it, as like one of your teeth just, you could feel it kind of crack a bit and kind of shift
I'll
around.
spend the Benny to re-roll
Go right ahead.
if that's not enough.
That is not enough. That is still not enough, as the same
Oof.
thing happens. That's why I said I'm glad you guys picked dramatic tasks. This could have been awful. This would have been awful. Okay.
Ah, man.
But you bite down, you rip off a piece of the bark, but you realize like one of your tooth is loose. You take the bark out of your mouth, and you realize one of your teeth is sticking out of it, and blood's kind of coming down. And you're like, ah. But once again, it sweeps down, tries to hit you, but doesn't quite like kind of get you as it happens.
Man, it's got more than 14.
True to his
toughness.
gouging
You're
ways.
screwed.
I will tell you what it has. I'll tell you afterwards what the stats are. I've never seen so many D12s on the stat block, by the way. Double D, you are up.
Hey, the ritual is still going on, or it doesn't finish yet.
It's almost done.
Yeah,
All
no
right,
tender.
I gotta stay on task. I'm gonna find the closest piney to me, and I'm gonna test out what Cletus was telling me. I'm gonna pick it up by the feet. I start spinning around like a top, like I'm a Appalachian Beyblade right now. I'm gonna just go and toss that thing in a group of them. Just
Right.
all right. I'm gonna do that's gonna be athletics. I got them 2 die right there, and I'll put them in the hole. Got double 4s, so I got 4.
Okay, that's a success. We've got 2 of the required 3 by you guys to keep him off Louisa. And you kind of pick one up, you sweep it around, knocks a few over, and then you just launch it, right? And you can see as there's a few that have just kind of crawled up the mound and are like paused for a moment as they're watching like Dogless roll around on the ground, and you just like a bowling ball going through pins, just take them all down. All 4 of them just go tumbling down to the ground, back down the mound.
I got a strike. I did. Maybe toss them by the feet. So I'm on to something there.
Okay. The Piney's going to go ahead and swing again. Again, Cletus and Double D are the only ones who are really in the range at this point, even though it has reach. You guys are really the only ones in the range. That is not a good roll. That is 2s on both the die. So, yeah. So, Double D, you just managed to duck again. Cletus, right as you're kind of wiping the blood, you feel like something thud just a few inches to your right, and then you hear as it seems to have hurt itself more than it's hurt you.
That's a grazer.
Amian, you've just got struck by lightning. You feel okay, but your hair is a little frizzy right now. You had mentioned you wanted to try to redirect the lightning with one, like try to get like the get something to catch on fire. Maybe your hair's caught on fire a little bit, and you try to like get the twig on fire or something like that.
Yeah. If my hair's on fire, I want to put it out in the bush and just like spread it and then run on and continue to taunt.
Okay. Do you want to do something like, I mean, you can do athletics if you just want to try to like get your hair caught up. Like you could do that.
Sure. I'll do that.
Your little image has a perfect head of hair for like a matchstick that's just like on fire.
Yeah. I'll Benny it. Why not? Five.
Okay, 5 is good enough. You get your head inside one of these like bushes, you gotta like shake it off, and all of a sudden you step back and the bush is now on fire, and you can see like it jumps over to this like kind of sapling pine tree, and all the pines go, nah! Ah! Nah! And they start kind of beating at the fire with their piney brooms.
Awesome.
And then Louisa, you just need 1 success. If you critically fail, or you fail at all, you basically just get the whole team killed, as the Piney King will.
Hey, I can still
help
help
you
maybe.
guys. That's true, actually. That's true. There is.
I mean, it's mostly hopeless, but not entirely.
So I have a +1 because of Dogless from
Yes.
last time.
That is correct.
All right, performance again, except like this time, kind of the dancing has turned a little more in, kind of like square dance type. So it's a little more of that kind of style this turn around the tree.
Very naturalistic. Go for it.
Oh, I am going to take one of our audience bennies for that.
Uh-oh.
Because it was not particularly good.
Uh-oh.
Actually, no, I had a +1, so it's a pass.
Yep. Okay.
Because it was
Well,
a
that was
4, and I had the +1, so it's 5.
Okay.
That I accidentally saved the day.
You did.
You did.
So, as you reach out and you kind of like smash your hand after like some weird do-si-do you do, and you smash your hand on like the last remaining like stub whorl, you can see it kind of shift and unwind. There's like a moment of pause where you think, did you do it? Did I do it right? Did I screw it up? And then a second later, like maybe like it's like before the thought is even done, you hear a whoosh, and you see all of you, this flash of kind of green flame just erupt in the sky over the clearing and like pull out in a circle, and you see on the ground right above, right below where that green flame was, the entire coven from Weird has arrived, and immediately they're flinging those green flame, like streams of green flame. You see all the pinies, the little pinies that have been getting tossed around like rag dolls, are suddenly burst into green flames, and they're running into the forest. Cletus, you suddenly feel like the large piney king that you're on. First of all, you feel a heat. Okay, like this heat is kind of coming, and you smell smoke, and you feel it moving like it's actually moving with great with like kind of great speed as it seems to be running and running. What do you all do?
I'm probably down on the ground, like trying to throw fireballs. I'm a witch.
Roll an unskilled.
Mhm.
I'm just curious. Let's see what you roll. I'll just give.
Hold on. I'm gonna Benny that.
That's a
It's gonna penny that.
-2.
That's a -4. Oh, that's right.
Douglas
No.
because you're wounded too. Yeah. Douglas is.
Ah, there it
rolling
is. It's
around.
up to a 1.
Douglas, you're rolling around and you're like, fireball, and you just luck, or maybe the electricity is still in you and a bit of leaves are popping down. All of a sudden a spark comes up and you just see this kind of orange flame like arc out from your hands, whoosh, like arcs over the battlefield, and you can see as you look where it hits, it just like you see there's Double D, there's a bunch of them kind of around, and it just bursts in the ground right next to you, Double D, and you see this explosion on the ground next to you of this orange flame, and you look back and you see it like kind of arced from Douglas, and he's still rolling around and losing his mind.
He done got the magic touch. That's it. All right.
So how does everybody else like just sort of describe as this, like the encounter's won? What's like the last thing you do as all these pinies are starting to retreat now deeper into the forests?
One thing to do. I'm gonna hold on to that acorn, and I'm just gonna drop. Let my body weight pull it down.
And as you're like, crack, and then finally you fall, you slam on the ground. You're probably like a good 200 yards away from the clearing by the time you drop out. They're still running, like half of them are on fire. You can see there's witches that are chasing, kind of still throwing those streams of green fire. And you look down in your hand and you see a large fractured acorn in your hand. You don't know what it is,
Kingly nut.
but it is there in your hand. You've earned it. You have one. What does everybody else do?
Louisa wants to see if she can see the witch that she was talking to earlier.
Yeah, you can see that she's like standing up, like she actually comes to you by the mound, and like she's like sort of guarding it at this point. You can see a few of the witches are kind of continuing to sort of push the pinies away. Others kind of are kind of helping your friends kind of clean up the last stragglers that haven't quite realized the tide has turned, and then others are kind of sort of coming up here. Looks like they're going to do an additional ritual or something like that. They have more things to do.
We have
Oh,
kept our word. We're one step down.
That
Next
is
one might take a little bit
task.
longer.
Give you to sundown tomorrow is the arrangement. We will lift the hex on Gilmer. But if you want our allyship beyond this, you know what you have to do.
And
Understood.
then Double D or Amian, one last thing that you want to do in this moment?
I'm gonna
I
find a
probably
witch.
would have been running up to talk with the witch as well.
Okay.
So I would have
Yes.
heard all that.
Yeah, you overheard all that. Double D, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to one of these witches and be like, "Hey, so you know I'm spoken for by the flower lady with the ear thing. So Off limits.
Okay. Roll. Oh god. Let me roll this. Oh dear. Jesus. Oh, that's the exploder. That's another exploder. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Forbidden fruit. Mind yourself.
Roll a smarts test at -2.
I already got a D4. Here it goes. Love's in the air. Oh, I got a 6.
Okay.
Oh, I got another 6.
Oh.
It's going.
It's only a 4. So what is it? It's a 6. That's 12. Plus another 2 because it's -2. So that's a thing. That's 14. I got 14.
Okay.
Ow.
So she reaches out with her like gnarly hand, and she utters some sort of incantation, and you see this like tiny little spark at her fingers, and it's just this kind of fog like wafts out from the fingertips into your face and kind of gets torn up in your beard, and you kind of inhale it, but you realize after a moment it's having absolutely no effect on you. And she kind of turns her head and she's like,
Your mind is much stronger than your countenance would suggest.
Oh, steel trap.
Either that, or there is nothing in there to confuse. And confusion is your normal state of mind. Either way.
That sounds about right.
Either way, I have no interest in you.
and she kind of looks as climbing out of the woods. Some of it is like Cletus carrying an acorn.
However, that one might be a different story.
He's angled, ready to mangle.
Hey,
He reminds me.
Oh no, I'm gonna use my.
He reminds me of my 14th husband. His name was Cletus. What was
His name Cletus too.
Oh my.
I think it's fate. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, can't wait. I gotta be a best man. I gotta put on my good bow tie.
No, matrimony will not be happening here.
That's what you say now. You should try his cornbread.
I do make good cornbread. Hey, I got something for you. Oh, I know you ain't a big fan of the menfolk, and that guy was a Pina King who was being a sumbitch to you. I brought you his nut.
It's like a dowry right there.
Yeah, I pulled that straight out of his grundle just for you. Now, could I ask you pretend?
As you're doing this, all the witches turn and look at you as you're handing this over to her, and they look with like this. All of them have this like state of shock on their face, and like a few of them start whispering here and there as everyone's kind of in the process of sort of figuring out what's going on.
You realize what you just did by gifting me that.
I have no idea.
We are now bound.
Well, may your first child be a masculine one.
You are my 47th husband.
What?
I will expect you to return with me and my sisters. We need a strong man like you to ensure our safety. You will protect us and care for us when we are otherwise indisposed with rituals. Say your goodbyes to your friends.
Well, you can't go what you done yet. We got a job to do.
That's true. You did. We made a promise to do.
The pact has been made. You offered the sacred acorn. You have castrated the Piney King and gifted me that. It is a gift of fertility.
What the hell have I done.
Say goodbye to your friends.
Shit.
And they all kind of get into a circle as they finish their ritual up at the
Okay.
tree. Like,
Okay,
Grab
now
our hands. We will put you back with us.
But like, could I ask for something as like good dowry of sorts? There was a reason I was handing this over initially. If I could just have like you make talk just quiet, like for just a second.
What you say to me, you can say in front of my sisters.
Okay,
After
so do you and
all-
your sisters?
They are yours as well.
Oh.
Hey, Cletus, I think I can help you out here with this. Banana.
No.
oh God.
Oh no.
Hey, look. The reason I was giving this to you, I was gonna. Okay, so yes. Okay. All right. I hear you, but you all know a lot of things. I was gonna say, Miss Louisa over there, she's like a real nice lady, but I've seen her getting the shakes and whatnot. I was just gonna give this to you to see if I could trade it for you to give her something for her shakes. I mean, I'll keep whatever you just said, but like she's real good. And like, just is that fair? I'll do what you're asking, but I just want like, if somebody's gonna know something for what she needs, it'd probably be you.
I keep forgetting Mama Purdy's voice.
Mama Purdy, your first request as my 47th husband is to aid another woman. This is what you do for me.
Is that yes? I feel like I'm trying to worm on a big fucking hook.
If your friend and the rest of you complete the second task we laid before you, perhaps there is something we can do for your friend.
All right. Okay. All right then.
Now are you ready to come home as husband? Give me your
Yes.
Louisa will step up at this point and just say, we have not completed our task. And
No.
we are in need of our group in its entirety to complete the task that we have agreed to. Otherwise, you would be changing the agreement that we made.
The woman, like you guys all, like those of you with decent notice, so probably Amian and Douglas, maybe because you two weren't really involved. You just see snickering like all around the witches, like they can't keep a straight face. And finally, like the woman that you've been speaking to, Louisa.
Okay, Mama Purdy, that is enough. You have tortured the poor boy. We have no desire nor need for husbands. Young
I mean,
Cletus.
I'm sure you would have been a delightful wife. I would have been a horrible husband.
You should probably quit while you're ahead here.
So I'm kind of disappointed now. I was hoping you name your firstborn after me.
We have.
It would've
had
been
our
Triple D.
husbands.
Would have
We
been
have
Triple
no
D.
Oh God.
Give us the acorn. Complete the second task and return to see us again, and perhaps we can do something for your friend.
I appreciate that, and that was a real good joke. I'm gonna step about 50 yards that way now.
Okay, sweet cheeks. I'll see you next time.
It's
She's
just the
been
one
censured.
devil dog bit one off.
That's just how I like them.
Lopsided.
All right.
Lopsided.
Asymmetrical.
And with that, they, having taken control of the boogeyman tree, you all are left there, and we'll end on that for tonight.
I really thought that was gonna happen.
I know you did.
That'd be the best character ending possible.
I would have done it, but I didn't want you to lose your character. But that would have been hilarious.
I would have gladly let Cletus go if that was his end. That would have been great.
Oh my God.
That's good.
We should have done it. I didn't want to like. We didn't talk about it at a time, so I didn't want to like end your character. I'm always kind of nervous about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was ready
Oh
to
my
have my
God.
character end.
Yeah. Whenever you need to end double D, I'm good with it.
All right. So that was fun. You got so the stats on this thing are pretty crazy. So like the ideal situation is not to actually combat the creature, but thus yeah. I mean it can happen, but ideally not. So it's got D12s in like spirit, strength, and vigor. Its toughness is 18.
Good God.
Yeah,
Oh
its
my.
toughness is 18. It's
Wow.
sweeping branch has a reach of 3. And it's D6 plus its strength. It also had Stomp Party, which I didn't do, and a couple other things which I didn't do because I was like, man, I'm just gonna give them one thing every round. That's gonna be enough. I'm gonna kill them easily. So I thought it was pretty funny.
Or at least me.
Yeah, I felt
Things went
Oh,
as
geez,
they
of course.
should.
Of course,
Dan
that's what's
got
gonna
his butt
happen.
kicked.
And just got struck by lightning, and then you're flopping around on the ground having some weird out of mind moment. But you cast a spell apparently, so that's interesting.
I mean, that's pretty neat.
All
Dan,
right.
Remind me at the beginning of next session that I will heal you. Now that I'm done with my silly dance.
All right. So let's do some closing plugs. How about that? So Chuck, what's going on with Defenders this week?
Oh, today's Monday. So Wednesday we got Thunder Rift, and Thursday we got Tales from the Loop. We're doing Through the Hedgerows. Friday, Dungeon Crawl Classics, our Dead Sun campaign. Saturday, I think Saturday we got a double header, 1 p.m. over on Grim and Perilous Plays for some Fallout 2D20. And then 9 p.m. over on Goodman Games Official for some Weird Frontiers. But also, I have an adventure out that you can buy on Drive-Thru RPG called The Kids Aren't All Right. For Zweihander RPG, for Drive-Thru, whatever it is. Yes, go buy that and support my feet surgery thing because I need extra toes on each foot. That way they can interlock better.
Foot reduction surgery.
No. No.
Enlargement? I didn't know they can get bigger. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He needs new Crocs.
I need new Crocs.
Okay. Let's see who's next. Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon.
Yeah. Every some Patreon, comics, maps, RPG assets, good stuff. Why not?
Bert's not here, but he streams on Tuesdays. So you can go ahead and if you're looking for something to watch tomorrow night, go to Steam Still Murder. You can catch him. I think he runs Dungeons and Dragons on Tuesdays, like first or second edition, something like that. So you can go check that out. And I think he also runs Friday, but I don't know what he's got on Friday. And then as for us, yeah, AD&D on Tuesdays. There's Oak. Yeah. As for us, Friday we are back to Mothership, and we had a weird cliffhanger with like I don't know, man, sphincter pillars. It was weird. And see, Saturday after Chuck's Fallout game, we'll be back on our channel playing some One Ring second edition. And this time next Monday, we'll be back to Deadlands, where we start up part 2 of our Blood Drive campaign. So that's about it. Oh, and Jeremy and I on Thursday over on Garblight Games as we punch Nazis.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and raid our friends over at Diesel Shot. Follow that raid. Make us look good with like however many people are here. But thanks for hanging out. Thanks to you for those of you who are watching this later on Twitch or Twitch VOD or YouTube or wherever the hell else you're finding this. And bye. Good night.